Hi everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Adedoyin and welcome to episode 2 of my knitting podcast. So the first episode that I recorded, I think in October, just wanted to say a big thank you to everyone's comment and feedback, everyone's suggestions. I actually tried out a couple of them and I found them very, very handy. So thank you so much for sharing that. Thank you as well for even commenting and taking time to watch the video. I really appreciate it. And it kind of gave me the boost and the encouragement to do another episode and to continue to produce another episode. And to be very honest, I genuinely enjoy not just sharing, but like I binge watch a lot of knitting podcasts. Okay. A couple of people that I love to listen to, and even new people that I have found that I just like, oh my gosh, what you're making is mwah. And yeah, it's very engaging. It actually keeps the momentum going when it comes to knitting, especially when you don't feel encouraged to do so, or you're not having the mojo. So when I watch knitting podcasts, it really keeps me going. So I'm hoping that this does the same thing for other people or even something else. But I just want to take a moment to first say thank you so much for your comment from the last video. Okay, don't want to yap around too much, but let's get straight into it. I'm going to start with the things that I finished since the last time we spoke. And by the way, I did promise that I was going to do a everything I knit in 2025 video. This would have been that video, but then I thought, okay, we still have a couple of days in December. So today is the what's today's date? Babe, what's today's date? My husband's right there and he's making me shy. But what's today's date? Okay, today is the 23rd of December. I lost track. I couldn't remember. I know today's Tuesday, but anyway, today is the 23rd of December and there's still like 7-8 days in December and I can still knit something, you know? So I thought, why not leave that video to January next year, hopefully. And then that way I can really capture everything I did knit in 2025. So that's why this video isn't that. So I'm like, okay, let's just talk about what I've been able to accomplish, finish, works in progress, and then we will finish off with acquisitions. Actually, no, we will then do acquisitions and finish off with potential knitting plans. Potential. I say potential because like my mind changes almost every time. So yeah, I say potential. So let's start with finished objects. The very first thing I'd like to talk about is what I'm wearing. I think most people, I should say, that I've seen who does this knitting podcast always wears the most recent finished object or one of their most finished objects. So I'm doing the exact same thing. This is, I think the last time I recorded a video, you guys, I talked about how this was a work in progress. And so I've been able to finish it since then. And it's the Sonia sweater by Petite Knit. And I absolutely love this sweater. I have worn it so many times. I can't even count how many times I have worn it, but I've worn it so many times since I finished. I'm just grabbing my notes to keep me on track because I'm going to talk about not just the yarn, but also the color when I started it, the size, and when I finished it, the size and any modification. And then I always like to rank my knits in terms of experience and just how I generally feel about it. So I love this. I think by now you guys already know that when it comes to experience knitting this as well as just the finished project, it's an excellent for me. Like it's a 10 out of 10. I'm even fantasizing about making tons of colors in this sweater. I'm thinking about making it in brown. I'm thinking about making it in navy. I'm thinking about making it in butter yellow. I don't have anything butter yellow or mustard. I can't decide. But anyway, I just want to make this in so many colors. So I think I'm going to do that, but I just don't know when. I just know that I want to do it. So in terms of my experience, it's wow. So it's the Sonia sweater by Petite Knit. I used the yarn. So here's the thing. I used 2 yarns and I'll explain why. But the main yarn that I used for this, so 2 yarns held together. is Friends Kid Silk and Friends Wool, which I purchased from Hobby. That's the yarn that I bought, and I held the two of them together. But something happened along the way. I ran out of yarn. Now, if you had watched my previous video, you would know that there's something going on with me and running out of yarn. Yeah, I ran out of yarn. So I then went back to the website and they didn't have the color. And now I was like, why is this happening to me again? Because again, if you had seen the first episode, I ran out of a particular yarn, which I have an update on, and I will talk about that later. And so I was so frustrated. I was like, why is this happening to me? Why is it that I'm not calculating my yardage properly? But this is what I then realized. I mentioned in my first knitting podcast episode that I chose a bigger size. I'm normally a size 2, so usually a small. But over the years, I've found that I really enjoy oversized sweaters. So even if I think a size 2 would still fit well, this fits a lot better, in my opinion, like the way I want it to look like. This is exactly what I was going for. And I will insert videos and pictures. I think I have pictures. I don't really have a lot of videos, but I have pictures of me wearing this. So I went for a size 3 instead of a size 2. So the yardage of yarn that I had purchased initially was for a size 2, which was why I ran out of yarn. And so I had to basically find a substitute because Hobbycraft ran out of the color that I have. They had other colors, but not this particular color. And speaking of color, this color is cranberry red. In the yarn, yeah, it's called cranberry red. Again, I'll put the details on screen just in case I'm missing it. But I'll try my best to be accurate. And so they ran out of that yarn. So what I had to do was to basically just search the internet. I needed to find another yarn that was similar, but not just in terms of components, but in terms of like the color, which is a big risk, right? Yeah. Went on Wool Warehouse, and then I found Signet. They had a yarn called Signet. But here is the beautiful thing. The color that they had was also called cranberry red. And I remember speaking to my best friend and I was like, should I just take the risk? Should I just buy it? Because it's, first of all, 2 separate companies. There's Hobby in Denmark, and then Signet Wool Warehouse, which is in the UK, I believe. So I was like, there's no way the color would be the same. But guys, it's the same. I don't know how they did it, but it's the same. And for me, that was like, thank you, Jesus moment. It was a big risk. And I remember like, I don't know, I was just like, this seems like a bad idea. Worst case scenario, if it wasn't the same color composition, I could just return it back, right? It's definitely not the same dye lot. But then the fact that it came and it looked exactly the same as the Hobbycraft one was such a miracle to me. And so I bought it. It worked. I don't think you can see a difference. So where I used it was on my left. Yes. So the Hobbycraft wool finished up just around here. And literally, this is all I needed to do. And well, of course, I needed to also do the double folded collar. And then I purchased the yarn and I literally just knit from here to here. So if you look at the two of them, you can't see the difference. It's literally the same, which was amazing. Anyway, it worked. Everything worked out well for me. And then I also used it for the collar. So in terms of when I started this on the 10th of October, and then I finished it on the 21st of November. Over a month, because again, I chose a big size, a bigger size, and then it's also worked on a 4 and a 4.5 millimeter needle. I believe that is correct, but again, if it's not, I will put it on screen. what else did I didn't make any modifications. I just chose a bigger size. Like I said, I would have done a 2, but I decided to do a size 3. So no modifications, followed everything to the T, and it's absolutely beautiful. I absolutely love it. The other thing I would say I did was to make my sleeves way longer, which I don't hate. Like, I love it. It's perfect. It's cozy, it's snuggly. I'm not very sensitive to itch, but I think for some people, the kid silk mohair would be a little bit itchy for them, because even though I'm wearing like a white shirt underneath, I sometimes can feel the prick of the mohair, but it's fine for me. Like, it doesn't irritate me. It's just like, oh, okay, that's a little stab, and then I move on. So yeah, no modifications. I just followed the pattern, and I absolutely love it, and I'm looking forward to making more of this sweater in different colors. In fact, I got my husband to wear it because I was like, I think it's gonna fit him. It's that oversized, and it did fit him, but of course he didn't want a red color. He doesn't want it in red, so I'm planning to make him something at some point in my life, because a lot of my friends have been coming for me that I've not made anything for my husband. And like I said, he's sitting right there just in front of me. He's smiling. But one day, I promise, I will make it, and I will tell the entire world that I have finally made him a sweater. So anyway, this is Sonia Sweater by Petite Knit, and I absolutely love it. Looking forward to making it in different colors. Okay, onto my finished object number 2. It's the summer shorts. I'm so proud of myself, sorry. It's the summer shorts by Holly C. Watson. You can find the pattern on Etsy. I don't know if it's on Ravelry. I didn't check for it on Ravelry, but I found it on Etsy. And guys, I'm so proud of myself. It's my very first shorts. Now, I'm pretty sure some of you are wondering, why would she make shorts in winter? Well, I had a plan. Okay, the reason why I made it is, one, I knitted this very simple top in, I think it was autumn or spring of last year, and I use it as a PJ top, because it's very, I don't know, it just gives me PJ vibes. So I wear it as my PJ. In fact, it's the top that I'm wearing for my YouTube picture at the moment. Sorry, if I keep looking here, it's because my phone is here and it's helping me monitor what the camera is capturing. But anyway, I knitted that, and I was like, imagine if this had a pair of shorts with it. It's a complete PJ set, right? Perfect idea. So I found the summer shorts on Etsy, and I was like, oh yeah, this would be perfect. This is exactly what I am envisioning with the top. It's a very simple top that I had already knitted. And so I made this, and I think the last time in the first episode, I mentioned to you guys that I was going to use, do I have the yarn here? Give me 1 second. Yes, so I don't have the yarn around me, but I have my notes. I remember I said I was going to use Jewel Spawn in the color Evening Jade, but I started with that color, and then I remember going to my counseling, and I walked past the shop where I bought that yarn, the Jewel Spawn 100% acrylic in Evening Jade, and then I saw this colorway from the window. My eye just caught it. I was walking past. I promise you I wasn't trying to enter into the shop. But then as I was minding my business, I saw this colorway, and I was like, I need that one. So I picked that colorway, and it's called Golden Green. I think it was the brown that got my attention. It has this beautiful, let me see if I can show you up close. Don't know if you can see that. Yeah, that's it. It has this beautiful golden brown that I absolutely love. Just try to focus that back on my face, that I absolutely loved. And so I just had to pick it up for that reason. And so I instead knit in this. The other reason why I decided to knit in this color is because when I started off with the Evening Jade color, so what you have to do with the, with the band, you start with the band, by the way, sorry, I'm all over the place, but bear with me, guys. You start with the band, and then it's a double folded band. I didn't realize that my band was twisted. And so I had gotten up to this point thereabout in the first one that I was making in the Evening Jade color. And then I was like, wait, something doesn't feel right. And then I looked at it and then I realized that my band was twisted. I promise you, I genuinely was like, I think I'm just going to carry on knitting this. I didn't want to start all over again. I was so pissed off, so frustrated that I literally just dumped the whole project altogether. But the thing with me is I am a monogamist, whatever that word. And I only like to knit one thing at a time, because if I knit way too many things at a time, I would get stressed. So while I stopped knitting this, I was like, okay, but I really want to knit something. And so I eventually picked up another project, which I would talk about later. I don't want to jump all over the place. I will show you that later. But then after a while, I was like, okay, I need to come back to this short, because this was what I wanted to make as my second project, right? After this red one. So I was like, okay, let's start afresh. Let's start brand new. Okay. So I used this shade, though I really like it. I really, really like it. And then once I was able to get this bit, the band done, and I made sure I was literally staring every time that my band wasn't twisted, because I didn't want to go through that process of unraveling again. And once I was able to get the band done, guys, it was smooth sailing. I couldn't put this project down. So now let's talk about the size that I made and every other thing. So I made it in the size small. And I used a 4mm needle. I started on the 5th of December. So this particular one, not the first attempt, the second attempt. And I finished on the 13th of December. So it took me about less than 10 days. That it's a very quick knit. To be fair, like, you do a lot of stockinette and nothing much. It's a very simple thing to do. It's my first time making shorts, and I think I would actually recommend this for a beginner, because you don't really have to do much except a lot of stockinettes and then increasing as you go. So that's what this is, the make one left, make one right. That's what the centerpiece is, at the center and at the back. And then after you do you start with the band, then you increase all the way to the end. You just keep increasing with the make one left, make one right. You don't do any finishes. The rolled bottoms is basically how after casting off, it just rolls on its own. So you're not doing anything with that, which I actually found was okay. And then you do the I cords. The I cords were very simple as well. I think it's a very simple, very quick, straight to the point pattern that a beginner can knit. And if you also just want to do something mindless, I think this is a perfect mindless project. So yeah, I enjoyed this. I haven't worn it yet, but that's just because I've been wearing another PJ for the time being. But I'm looking forward to pairing this up with the top that I had made last year. The colorway of that top is completely different to this colorway, and I still have a lot of leftover from this yarn, to be honest. So I can easily make another top so that it's matching perfectly with this one. But yeah, this was a very fantastic knit. I absolutely love it. Didn't make any modifications, and it's just perfect. Perfect. First shorts. I think I nailed it. if I do say so myself. Yeah, that's that. Okay. My third finished project, and it's again the first time I've ever made this, are mittens. Oh my gosh, guys, why are they so cute? Why? They are adorable. I love them. I absolutely love, like, I remember finishing them and I was just staring at it all the time. Like, I haven't even used it. I just love it. Let me put it on while I talk. Not that I need them indoors. It's so adorable. Another quick and easy knit. This took me 2 days, but when I say 2 days, it's because I was working and I was trying to close off with work. I'm now on holiday, by the way, but I was working a lot of things to finish up at work, but then whenever I had the time, I would pick it up. So it's a very quick knit. Again, I would say very beginner friendly, or something if you just want to knit something really quick. It's definitely in the list of gift knits. If you want to gift people these, you can make these, but I made this for myself. Anyway, it's the Straight Ahead Mittens by Tinge Knit, It's actually a free pattern that I found on Lovecraft. And I'm not a mitten girl. Like, I've never owned a mittens. I do like gloves though, but then I find that with gloves it's quite hard to still be able to text or do anything, maybe find the bus app, just basically use the phone. Yes, they've made like some gloves that have like print so that you can actually use them to scroll, but I don't find that that works all the time. So I thought, okay, let me try fingerless mittens and see. Again, just wanted to make sure this is focused and see how that works. And I absolutely love them. I used Highland wool and kid silk mohair by Hobbii. So it's the same yarn for the my red Sonia sweater that I used for these, but I used the color gray, of course, obviously. So these yarn are actually leftover yarn. It's not something that I purchased when I bought the yarn for this. I still have a lot more in my stash, and I think I can actually make a Sophie scarf with it or something small. I can still make quite a number of things, to be honest, but mostly accessories. I would say these are my third accessories, but my very first mittens. I've never made mittens before. You start with from the bottom, and then you work your way up. But while you're working your way up, of course, you separate a couple of stitches for the thumb, and then you finish off. You just basically bind off normally, nothing special, just trying to focus that. You bind off normally, and then that creates that folded hem. The only thing that I think you do that is, here you purl twice at the bottom before you then start to knit. And then, that's it. It's very simple. Took me about 2 days. Like I said, I started this on the 16th and then I finished on the 19th. Didn't make any modifications, and I did the size medium. Again, I love it. I don't know if I would use it, even though I love staring at it. The reason why I say that is because it's not been as cold in Edinburgh as it normally would be, which is a bit odd. Edinburgh is usually quite cold, especially last year. Last year was snowing, it was icy, it was really cold. So I thought this year was going to be the same. And so I was like, okay, let me get myself ready for the cold winter. But it's not been as cold as I thought. Would I still wear them? I think so. I mean, I've not had anything like this before, so I've not really seen how to pair them. I'm pretty sure you just wear them. I don't think you really need to think too much about pairing these. But I guess what I'm saying is, in terms of my style, I'm not yet sure if it's my style. I don't even know why I really wanted to make it, except the fact that it was cold. I think I saw someone wearing something like this and I was like, ooh, that is adorable, that is cute, and I just wanted to make one for myself. So now that I have it, I'm just like, okay, let's see how it fits in my wardrobe. Though I've not had the occasion to wear it because of the weather, it's not been cold, and let's see how things go. I love having it even if I'm not going to wear it yet, and maybe at some point I'll give it away if I don't wear it, but we'll see how things go with that one. All in all, I absolutely love it. I don't know if I've missed anything else from that. I think I did say it's a free pattern from Lovecraft, so have a look at it. And actually, something to say is, I appreciate the designer, Tinge Knit. Thank you. Reason why I say that is because she gives you 3 options of making this in her pattern. You get the fingerless mittens, which is what I have, but you also actually get the full mitten. So if you want to have your fingers covered and not have it fingerless, she actually has it in that pattern too. And then she has wrist warmers as well. So if you don't want the thumb attached, you just want it to be like something like this. Let me see if I can show you. Be like that. It's also in the pattern, so you have basically three in one, which I think was very fantastic. And that was why I also went with this pattern, because I was scrolling through Lovecraft to see what mittens pattern they had, but this was the one that caught my attention. It just felt really good, not just because it was 3 in 1, but it was exactly what I had seen someone else wear that I wanted, so that's why I went for that instead of other patterns. So yeah, go check it out on Lovecraft. Okay, now moving on to works in progress. Okay, my first works in progress, or I should say the one that I'm putting all my energy and working on right now is the Lace Pullover by Ozetta. And the reason why I decided to do this is because, again, because of the season that we are in, I have a what's it called? A pullover that I once knitted. It was actually my very first project, but because there's a lot of mistakes in it, I still love it dearly. I don't even think I've shown you guys ever. I still love it so much though, and I still wear it. But then I thought, okay, it's about time to make one with my, I've grown, I've learned a lot from knitting. I've been knitting for 2.5 years, since the end of 2022 thereabout, and I've learned a lot and I'm more confident. So I'm like, okay, let's knit one with the experience that I currently have. And so I was looking for, so the first one I made is more chunky, but I wanted to make one that's less chunky and just fits my wardrobe. Of course the first one fits my wardrobe, but it's just that it was me as a beginner knitter. I did find a couple of beautiful patterns. In fact, I was deliberating between Lace Pullover and the Eva cardigan by Petite Knit, but because of the yarn that I had in my stash, and I needed to find a pattern that would work with the gauge and everything of this yarn or that pattern. Basically, I didn't want to buy a new yarn. I wanted to make sure I used this yarn. And the yarn that I'm using for the Lace Pullover by Ozetta is this that I got. Can you see that? Yes. From guess guys. Just give it a guess. Vinted. Now, if you live in the UK, just making sure this is focused. If you live in the UK, you would know why I said Vinted that way. Vinted is basically a second-hand website where you basically buy used items, like a charity shop where you buy used clothes, used items. So I was not expecting to find yarn. These aren't used yarn, by the way. Sorry, I should have said these aren't used yarn, but I wasn't expecting to find yarn on Vinted. So imagine my surprise when I found yarn at an affordable price, like crazy affordable. I had to jump on that. And how did I find out? I was watching a podcast by Sophie Knits. I love Sophie Knits videos. I just love it. I think it's very, very enjoyable to watch. So I'll say go check her out. She also lives in the UK. And so when I was watching her very first podcast, and she talked about how she got a yarn from Vinted. And I was like, wait a minute, you can do that? I literally paused the video, went on Vinted, and I searched the yarn, and lo and behold, tons of both new and used one. When I mean used, I don't mean like they've used it and then unraveled. I mean like, when you have a lot of like leftovers from a project that you've once made and you want to get rid of it. That's what I mean by used. So like there's that, but then you can also get proper unused packed skeins of yarn like this. So I was like, oh my lord, this is dangerous. This is very dangerous. Do you know why? Because like I said, I got this at a very, very cheap price. And it's 100%, it's 95% alpaca and 5% polyester. If I was to buy this from a regular website, I know I would be spending way more than I bought this for. And so I was like, this is so dangerous for me. I literally need to avoid that app because I have favorited so many things. And do you know the amount of times I've almost clicked buy? I've had to like, no, you don't need it. You don't have a project for it. Stop it. I've had to always control myself. It's hard. I promise, like, it's so hard. But I'm like, I've made a rule for myself. If I don't have a project for it, or if I don't at least have an idea of what I'm going to use with this yarn, don't buy it. That doesn't always work, I'll be honest with you. But most times that's like helped me control myself. I really do want to buy so many yarns, and then I feel so gutted when someone else purchases it before me. I'm like, no, don't buy it. But of course, other people are eyeing the yarn. So yeah, got this yarn from Vinted. It's really soft, but it's also very stretchy. So I need to be careful when it comes to the length of my project, because I heard that alpaca yarn tends to grow as time goes on. So I'm going to keep an eye out of it. Okay, I've yarned a lot and I've not even told you guys the construction or any other thing about this. So these are the saddle shoulders. I think that's what they call. So here and here. So I'm making the second one of this one. And then from what I read in the pattern, you then need to pick up stitches on the side, cast on a couple of stitches, then pick some up on this side and then knit the back. So at the moment, I'm still working on the saddle, the second saddle. So this is the left. Now I'm making the right at the moment. And it's going well. I'm enjoying this project at the moment. I've never made anything like I've never made a sweater like this before. So it's my first. I think that was part of the reasons why I chose this pattern as well. I thought it would teach me something new, because I could have chosen a raglan construction or a contiguous construction, but then I was like, actually, no, what's the fun in that? You know, let's grow, let's learn something else. Let's be a big girl, you know? So yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing how this turns out. I am using 5.5 millimeter needles to knit this at the moment. And like I said, the yarn is this. I don't think it has a brand. It just says alpaca wool, but I am knitting a size medium and a size medium, yes. And I started on the 21st of December. No modifications at the moment because I just started. So let's see how things go. But I'm basically looking forward to having this pullover cardigan type of thing. It's like a v-neck. Again, I think I have put a picture, but if I haven't, I'll put a picture of what that looks like. Okay, my second works in progress is, and I had talked about this in the first episode, I was gifted this, which is cool. I love the way it opens up. But that's not the point. Anyway, is, like I said, I had talked about it in the previous podcast. The first one is the socks that I was making. Hee. This is looking so cute. I love this color. It's color is beautiful. When I had issues with the ribbon of this one, and like I said, I just felt like, I really want to knit. I just picked this up, and this is, like I said in my first episode, this is like an in-between project. So if I don't have anything I'm working on, or I can't decide on what I'm working on, what I want to work on next, or I'm frustrated at what I'm working on, I just picked this up to kind of relax my mind. I don't want to talk too much about it, but it's a simple vanilla socks. It's by Tonya. Just want to double check. By Tonya. I got the pattern off her website, but if you go on YouTube and you just type simple socks by Tonya, you would see her. She's really good at teaching and everything. I just absolutely love it. So yeah, I'm just making simple vanilla socks. You can find out more information on the previous video. I don't know how to link videos on videos, but I'll try to see if I can link it up here, like how people do it down here, somewhere on screen. I'll try and figure that one out. But yeah, this is just the first leg. I just knitted this for a couple of days. So the first time you guys saw it, I was only here. I had only done the ribbon and maybe a few rows. But now look at how much I've done. Yeah, because it was fun when I was pissed off at the shorts. So yeah, don't want to talk too much about it, but that's kind of where it is. And I said in the previous video that I had used this yarn. There we go. Focus that. So it's West Yorkshire Spinners, and this yarn is called Signature, and the color is Evergreen 1235. Love it. So it's just an in-between project, nothing much. I'll try not to feature it in the next one. Oh, who knows? What if I finish it by then? That would be very, very nice, actually. Ooh, trying to focus this on my face. Okay, now onto, I think this is gonna be my final works in progress, but I'll tell you why it's a work in progress, because I'm not trying to contradict myself. I genuinely like to only knit one thing at the same time, except with the exception of the socks. It's like an in-between project, and I don't knit it unless I don't have anything else to knit, or unless, like I had mentioned, I'm frustrated with something else. So in my previous podcast, I had mentioned to you guys a situation So this should not even be a works in progress. It should be a finished object. But I had said to you guys in the first episode that I ran out of this yarn. The yarn for this project. Sorry. Just gonna turn it. Can you see it? There. I had run out of yarn, and just to remind you guys, it's the wish list pullover by Ashley Lilies, and ever since then I have yarn for it. I finally have yarn for it. By the way, just want to say a big thank you again for the guys who recommended different places I could check for the yarn. Someone suggested that I might be able to find the yarn on Ravelry, and you guys are absolutely, the person who left that comment, thank you. Thank you very much. But I'm sorry I'm not mentioning your name right now, but I just want to say thank you, because I actually did go on Etsy, on Ravelry, and I found the yarn, but it was not for sale. But the fact that I learned that was like an eye-opener for me. So it means I can purchase or buy or get yarns from Ravelry. So yeah, thank you so much for that suggestion. Though I couldn't get the yarn because it was not for sale. But here's what I did. Because I mentioned in the previous video that I was not willing to pay so much just for 2 or 1 ball of yarn, because the yarn company is in, I want to say Denmark, but I could be wrong. It's a hip knit wool. So I really I didn't want to pay so much money to ship just 1 ball of yarn to the UK. For me, it made no absolute sense. So I've been stuck with this project since spring of 2025. So this year, but since springtime. So what I then did was, here's what I did, which then means I have to dip into my acquisitions. So I have a pattern that I wanted to make. It's called the Darcy sweater by, what's her name? I'll put it up on screen, but it's the Darcy sweater. I mentioned previously that whenever I go on dates with my husband, I always pull out the exact same thing, the exact same top, maybe different bottoms, like different skirts or trousers, but this is the same top. And then I realized I don't actually have enough like feminine outdoor dinner type of top. And so I remembered that I had a pattern that I had purchased last year, which is the Darcy sweater. And when I looked at it, the yarn that she recommends is from exactly the same company as these guys. So it's Hip Knit. So the name of the yarn that she recommends in her pattern is Hip Knit Fluff Mohair. So I was like, wait a minute, I could buy that yarn and then just add whatever yarn I need for this, the remaining 1 or 2 balls of yarn that I need for this. And then that way it makes more sense, because the amount for the shipping, is not more than the yarn. Because of course, when you buy 7 balls of yarn, you're paying quite a high price for that, and then including the shipping. But initially, when it was just the 2 balls of yarn for this, the shipping was way more than the yarn itself, and I just thought that makes no sense. So because I was able to buy the yarn for the Darcy sweater, I then was able to add the 2 balls of yarn, the 2 balls of yarn that I needed for this. And so I was like, okay, finally, I could finish this. Now you're probably wondering, why didn't I just finish this instead of starting a new one? It's because we're traveling tomorrow, and I wanted to make sure I have a project that I take along with me that I can knit throughout. I felt like if I had taken this, I would finish it basically on the drive to where I'm heading. We're heading to Oxford, and it's a 6 hours drive, and I'm pretty sure I will finish the sleeves of this in about 6 hours. And I was like, okay, if I finish that, what am I gonna knit after that? And I don't want to take 2 projects with me because of space and all of that. So that's why I decided to cast on the Lace Pullover by Ozetta, because then I know that I'm starting a new project that will take me a bit more time to finish. I probably won't finish it by the time I'm back in Edinburgh, but at least I have something to keep me going. So that's why I haven't actually started knitting on this, and I've decided to just put it in my works in progress, because once I'm done with the Lace Pullover, my plan is to finish this and let it be a finished product, and I can wear it, I can show it to you guys, and I can be free from the torment of just having this hang around somewhere. Guys, I don't think you understand how happy I was when I was able to finally get this yarn to me here in Edinburgh. That's a breath of fresh air. Okay, so yeah, works in progress because I can now finally work on it. And I think I've already dipped in a little bit on kind of my acquisition, but yeah, that's my second work in progress, and now I can show you my acquisition. So here's the package. I had to remove my address, the whole label thing, so excuse, it's not so pretty here, but I love what it says at the back. It says make your own fashion. Yeah. So this is how it was packaged, the hip knit wool for the pink pullover that I just showed you, but also how they packaged the Darcy yarn. So let's open it together. I already opened it before, so this is not an unboxing anything. I already opened it. I'm just saying, let me show you. Let me show you what it looks like. Okay, so I actually have 3 of the pink one. I think it's because I panicked and I was like, I don't want any problems. I don't want to get stuck. Let me buy 3, even though I don't think I need 3. I think 1.5 is gonna be okay. But I'd rather have more than enough than to run out of yarn again and go through that same problem. Because I already went through the problem with this, even though I should have learned my lesson by now, but I already explained why I had run into problems with this one. So yeah, I had run into too many yarn problems that I wasn't willing to play any games. So I think that's why I went with, that's exactly why I went with 3. Okay, let's just play it safe. But I think I'll just use 1.5. But anyway, this is what it looks like. Oh, they gave me sweets. Sorry, let's focus that. Isn't that beautiful? So my acquisitions are basically just these 2 yarns, apart from the black one that you saw for the lace pullover. But this is absolutely gorgeous. So it's the color Baby Blues. I would have gone with black or one of those neutral colors, but I'm really trying to come out of, having everything be black and neutrals. Something just colorful, and I really like baby blue. It's part of my color palette. I actually worked on a color palette for myself, and the composition of this yarn is mohair and wool blend. So 80% kid mohair, 11% merino wool, and 9% polyamide. It's 100 meter for 50 gram, and I purchased 7 of it. Again, I deliberately purchased more than 7, which is more than enough for the size that I'm going to be working on for the Darcy sweater. Yeah, I mean, I don't know what else to say about it. I usually have to save to buy these yarns, by the way, so please don't think I am a rich auntie. I'm not. I have to save, which is why finding out that I can buy yarn of Vinted for me is like, yes. But anyway, I do think it's a privilege to be able to own these yarns, to be honest. But I have to stay away from Vinted nevertheless. Otherwise, I'll put a hole in my pocket, And then the other one that I mentioned for the pink one is the hip wool, as you can see. And its composition is just 100% woolicious wool. That's what it said. 100% chunky woolicious wool. And I got 3 of those instead of 2, like I had mentioned. And I'll use that to finish off the lace pullover. The wish list pullover, geez. And the color is Power Puff Pink. Okay, I have one more acquisition for you. It's not exciting, but it's kind of exciting for me. And it's stitch markers. It's quite exciting. It's basically they're regular stitch markers, but I don't know why it's exciting for me. I feel like a child. It's these. Can you see that? There. It's just the regular pin looking stitch markers with like a bulby bottom. I don't know why I like them. And I just really wanted to get one. That's why I got it. I think this is still recording because something has happened. It's kind of gone off on my phone, so I can't really see it. I got it on Amazon for £4. I have stitch markers, but I just wanted a bit more because I like the different colors. I just wanted a bit more stitch markers, and I loved these. I loved how light and simple they are. Also because the more decorative ones are a bit more expensive. So I just like, okay, if I can't get the decorative ones, I'll get the simple basic ones that have different colors and just enjoy it. But yeah, those are all my acquisitions. And then, like I said at the beginning, I will end with my potential next like knitting projects. Apart from, so when I finish the Lakes pullover, the plan is to then finish up the wish list one, and I am thinking that I would like to knit the sweater number 29 by My Favorite Things Knitwear. I already have the pattern, and I'm thinking in the color red again because I absolutely love this color. It's just so beautiful. So I'm thinking I will knit. I hope you guys can see me. I'm thinking I would knit the sweater number 29 by My Favorite Things Knitwear in red. It's a cable sweater, and I just love. I don't have a red cable sweater. I have just one, a pink cable sweater, but I would like to have another red piece in my wardrobe. And I thought, okay, let's try a cable sweater. So I think that's what I will do after I finish up these two. Or it might be the Levitate wrap, again by My Favorite Things Knitwear, because I'm thinking, okay, once I finish with this one, whenever I do decide to knit it, I would like to kind of build that more feminine knitwear in my wardrobe, because like I said, I don't have a lot of feminine stuff in my, I really don't. I like more boxy, oversized fit. I just feel more comfortable in them. So that's kind of why I'm thinking maybe I should try and build my wardrobe in that direction as well. So I feel like the Levitate wrap meets me in the middle in terms of like the structure. It's not necessarily boxy, so it's feminine in terms of the wrap, but then I love how it's not tight fitting, it's free on the body, and I just have this imagination of how I would pair it up with the things that I have. So that's why I'm thinking the Levitate wrap. So it's either the sweater number 29 or the Levitate wrap. I don't have the Levitate wrap pattern at the moment, but I'm definitely wanting to knit one. I don't know what color I would want to knit that in yet. There's too many colors dancing in my mind, so we would see what I kind of end up with. Like I said, I've done a color palette for myself, maybe in mustard. Let's not go into that detail. We'll figure it out as time goes, but I'm considering the Levitate wrap or the sweater number 29 as my next project once I finish these two. And then the final one, which I do have the pattern for, is the Mariel blouse. I'm thinking I will knit that closer to spring, because while it's like knit in like, I think merino wool, which is quite warm, it has like some holes as a motif. I don't know what they are called. I've never knit something like that before, so sorry, I don't have the technical term for it, but like you would see in the picture. I love it. I think it's feminine. I think it's also boxy in a way. I love the fact that the sleeves are not tight. Again, look at me. I think everything you've seen me wear in this videos or in all my videos are kind of tight fitting. I mean, are kind of free fitting, like open sleeves and so on and so forth. So I like that the Mariel blouse, though it's feminine, it's like very, very delicate, ooh, very delicate, but I think because of the holes, I would want to make that during spring so that it's, yeah, I feel like it would work better during spring and in a feminine color as well. I don't know. Yeah, so though I have the pattern for that. Oh, sorry, I didn't mention who made it. So the Mariel blouse is by Maria, I don't know how to say her last name, Sverdin. I'm sorry, but you can find her on Instagram, and it's a very, very pretty sweater. So yeah, those are my potential future projects once I am done with these ones. As you can see, I'm having fun with these. They're so cute. I love them so much. Okay, sorry. Anyway, but I think that's it. That's everything, guys. This is gonna be the last video for the year for me. My everything I knit in 2025 would be next year by God's grace. I haven't filmed it, but I'm hoping to see what else I can achieve this year. You might be surprised. I might be able to finish the Lakes pullover, because there's still, again, like I said, 9-ish days of Christmas, or 8 days in December before it's the new year. So I'm looking forward to that, but I'm looking forward to seeing how far I can go, with that. But can I just say Merry Christmas have a wonderful new year. Thanks so much for the love you showed me in the first video. I hope you've enjoyed this video. I hope it's not too long as well. Is there anything else I want to say? No, just take care. Speak to you guys, or next year. And I look forward to recording the Everything I Knit video. I'm also hoping I could challenge myself with a particular video as I go to Oxford tomorrow, but we will see. We will see. Okay guys, I'm gonna leave you, but it's been fun. I enjoyed this video. I enjoy making this video and showing you guys everything I've knit. And do take care and God bless. Bye bye.